Game Pass could be getting some big EA games dropping into the service very soon. Not surprising because of the integration with EA Play. We have some more information about a new God of War side project, which could be pretty cool. Minecraft gets a big update. Silent Hill F is banned. We'll go over that. That's an interesting story there. Assassin's Creed breaks the Steam record, so it is the best Assassin's Creed game on Steam right now in terms of player count. We'll take a look at that, plus a couple of other things like some Indiana Jones news that will be exciting for the other platforms out there that are going to be able to play it, like the PlayStation 5. So we'll jump into that, but before we continue, if you enjoy daily gaming news, daily gaming content, staying up to date on everything, discussions, all of that type of stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I put out these videos every day, and I love to see the channel continue to grow. With all that, let's jump into it. So as we know, Xbox Game Pass, EA, they are integrated. If you're a subscriber to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get access to EA Play, and it is great. I mean, you get all of their games into that service at some point. If you're a sports fan, you're eventually getting to play all of those games as well. They usually drop into the service about 6 months after the launch. If you're somebody like me who likes playing franchise mode, when I play sports games, I honestly don't really mind having to wait to be able to play all these games a couple of months after they do come out. But then you also get all of the other stuff in there, like games from BioWare. And some of those games that are going to be coming over here looks like they're dropping into Xbox Game Pass. A big one here for anybody who hasn't jumped in to play this one yet, and that is going to be Dragon Age: The Veilguard. This is already on PlayStation Plus. This game has dropped into the subscription services relatively fast, and this is probably because it hasn't met their sales expectations. They're trying to get new players to go in there and potentially try it out and experience it. But we have this here. It says, as spotted by Noble and Xbox Era, there are new Xbox Store listings that have appeared on PC with the words PC Game Pass alongside it. You would also assume these are dropping into console. It's going to be on Game Pass Ultimate, and that is Dragon Age: The Veilguard and the new EA Sports FC game, the current year version of this game. And people are also expecting NHL 25 to be dropping in soon. It will, because they release around the same time as EA Sports FC, so you should be expecting that one into the service too. So that's three big games that are most likely coming over: sports games as well as Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a game that, as it seems like with every single game released these days, there's so much bad faith arguments around it. So many people trying to make and hope that the games do fail. If you're at least following things online in social media, and to make these videos I have to, so I see it all. And it is a game that a lot of people loved. A lot of people said it was a phenomenal game. The ending of it was the best in the series, all of that type of stuff. Then you had another extreme that absolutely hated it and wanted the game to go away. And there wasn't too many people, I found, at least looking at reviews and discussion around this game, that were in the middle. So this is definitely one you probably have to play for yourself to determine whether you like it or not, which I think that applies to most games, but this one more so than others, just because of the extremity of the two sides and the discussions surrounding Dragon Age: The Veilguard. But if this drops into Game Pass, I'm sure there will be a lot more discussions, a lot more people jumping in, checking it out, and seeing if they do enjoy it for themselves. And I'm sure you'll get people who didn't want anything to do with it because of things they read online, jumping in and actually enjoying it and realizing you got to play it to understand if you do enjoy the game for yourself. The other thing here that Xbox is upgrading is Minecraft. Minecraft is getting a big set of graphics upgrades that will, they say, transform the Bedrock edition on Xbox and beyond. So as we know, I kind of forget sometimes that Xbox does own Minecraft. It is one of their first party titles. It's one of the biggest games out there, and they're continuously improving upon it, continuously making it better, and they're bringing some more vibrant visuals to the game. It says here that the vibrant visuals are designed to have improved visual elements such as directional lighting, volumetric fog, and more more specifically, saying the result is dazzling. Shadows move as the sun arcs across the sky, water reflects the landscape around it, and clouds appear infinite as they stretch far into the distance. And the improvements, including volumetric lighting, mean you'll be able to watch the sun's rays carve across the overworld, and every block will cast its own shadow. Light will shine through your windows, and you'll be able to see reflections in water and on the surface of metallic blocks, while subsurface scattering brings a gentle glow to the leaves and grass. Mobs and items will also have more of a glow. Spider's eyes will be even more menacing in the dark, and torches will cast a radiant path back to your build. You can see this in action in the deep dark too, and then you'll see some screenshots here with just kind of how these shadows are reflecting and how the sun rays are reflecting, and it does look honestly significantly nicer and significantly better, even for a game like Minecraft that doesn't have the most intricate graphics in the world. But these shadows and the lighting and stuff definitely make a difference, especially as you're seeing this on the water. So that is pretty cool. When it comes to ray tracing and the light rays and all of these things within graphics, there's so many different things now you have to talk about and look at, because there's just so much new tech in gaming. It's that I always thought that I was okay with just playing games without it. Like, it's fine, I'll stick to the performance mode, I'll stick to the 60 frames per second, I will sacrifice the ray tracing as long as I get a steady FPS. And I'm still mainly with that mindset, but a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows that just came out really opened my eyes to how beautiful games can look when that lighting is done really, really well. Because for me, Shadows is probably the best looking game, or at least up there as one of the best looking games that we have seen so far this generation, especially because of the scope of it, how big it is. And then you see the lighting as you're walking through like the forest and the trees and stuff. It is absolutely beautiful. So my mindset has kind of changed here with the whole ray tracing and the global illumination and all that type of stuff. I'm actually deciding for the first time this gen to play a game in quality mode with Assassin's Creed Shadow versus the performance mode. That's also in part because the 30 FPS feels great on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I don't fully understand how that works. Somebody said it was something to do with frame pacing and how it's better on one game versus another, but hey, the lighting, it does make a big difference with how beautiful these games do look. And while we're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, we might as well stay on the topic of it in terms of continuing to track how this one does. And we're doing this because there's just so much discussion. To me, Assassin's Creed Shadows has some of the most bad faith arguments against it, of people wanting it to fail. You can not like the game for various reasons, for mechanics. You don't actually like the story, you don't like the gameplay. That's completely okay. But there are a lot of bad faith arguments of people who are just having to not like it because they're being pushed not like it. Their audiences want them to not like it. They want them to try and make it fail. Well, it looks like that isn't going to be the case, at least as of right now, the way that it is looking. We'll have to obviously wait and see the official numbers of this when Ubisoft comes out and everything and talks about it. But as of right now, it has peaked, right? They could be higher at this point as you're watching this video, but on Steam, 64K players, which means it is the best Assassin's Creed game ever on Steam, with the highest peak overtaking Odyssey, which had 62K players. And it looks like it's continuously going up. This isn't something that is happening over just one day and then you see the numbers start to fall. It is continuously going up. We don't have a comparison to Valhalla, because if you remember with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ubisoft did the absolutely stupid thing of making that an Epic Games Store exclusive for the first 2 years of its release before they eventually dropped it into Steam in 2022. But as of right now, it is the most successful game on Steam, and that's just one section of where people are playing this game. We have to keep in mind there's people buying it on Xbox, PlayStation, Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft Store. Like, there's so many different places where people can buy it. That's one of the things that Ubisoft said they were going to change with everything that was happening around Ubisoft in terms of management and potentially the company being in big trouble. The other question here is, will this game be good enough to save Ubisoft? There is the thing that no matter really how good this game does, they're still probably going to be in some trouble, and they're still probably going to have to do some sort of restructuring. And I wonder what that is going to be. But I think Assassin's Creed Shadows doing well will help them in reducing the overall effect that whatever is happening behind the scenes that's currently happening, because they could still be making a deal with Tencent. They could still sell off IPs, and I think even if Assassin's Creed Shadow does very well, they'll still probably have to do some of that stuff, and it doing well also puts them in a better position to make more money off of whatever sales that they are going to be doing. So we'll see what happens. We have no idea, but this is obviously a big game for them from the business side. And if you're an Assassin's Creed fan like I am, it's a great Assassin's Creed game. It is phenomenal so far from everything that I have played. And I'm somebody who loved the other big open world ones and all of the ones previous to that. Even Assassin's Creed Mirage I enjoyed. This one here is standing out because it gives that next generation feel when you're playing through this world. It's a living world. It looks great. It feels great. So excited to continue to jump in. This one will be easily, for me, as with all the other open world ones, over 100 hours. I will probably end up putting into this game before I stop playing this Assassin's Creed game. All right, let's talk here. And there's an interesting story here going on about builds of unreleased games that are now leaking, including Riot's games 2XKO. So there's a bunch of games that have come out that if you wanted to go check out the early builds of them, they're unreleased at this point. Not sure if they actually ever will be coming out. They are now leaking here. So it says several builds of unreleased games have been uploaded to an undisclosed data mining Discord server, including Riot Games 2XKO. And so far, Insider Gaming has been able to verify that early builds of the following games have been uploaded: Killing Floor 3, 2XKO, as I said, Player Unknown Prologue, go way back, Embark Studios Arc Raiders, which this one actually looks pretty cool from stuff that we've already seen about, and then an early build of Delta Force Hawk Ops. So all this stuff is coming out onto a server. These are obviously builds that are not supposed to be played by anybody yet, so they're not going to represent what you're going to be getting when these games eventually do come out. They do say either way, it looks like all of these games will have new bits of information leaked about them in the near future, and it's currently unclear on where all of the builds originated, but according to our sources or other sources, 2XKO, Player Unknown Prologue, Go Way Back, Arc Raiders have all recently been in a wider pool of playtesting, and should any of these games leak, there will obviously be more updates on it. So something going on here. People are putting out these builds that aren't ready for obviously public consumption yet, but they're out there, and you're going to be able to see exactly what these games are all about. Silent Hill F. We got this announcement, I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago or something. Coming out, it's coming out for all platforms, which is a good thing. We saw with the Silent Hill 2 remake that was restricted just to the PlayStation 5 console. It was also on PC, but for the console space, it was only on the PlayStation 5. This one, however, is coming out everywhere, but it's being banned, and it's being banned in Australia. Nobody knows why. So I'm not sure if this is going to change, if it was a mistake or whatever, and it's just the rating boards going through and automating this process. But here's the story. This is via Eurogamer saying that Silent Hill F has been banned in Australia. Nobody knows why. The Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development, Communications, and Arts Classification Board, that is a department that covers a lot of things, have not detailed why exactly the horror has been denied its release, or the horror game has been denied its release. They simply invite people to contact the organization if they want more information. So they have, and there will be updates if they do hear back. So it is being banned as of right now. They have done this before. They've banned a fighting game, Hunter X Hunter, Nen X Impact, was banned back in December. I don't know about this game. And it says in a later statement, this was revealed to be due to implied sexual violence involving minors. And this isn't even the first Silent Hill game to be banned, as Homecoming, eye-watering, high-impact torture scene similarly sought refused classification in 2008 too, and a censored version was later released. And then there are other games here. Hotline Miami 2, South Park Stick of Truth, Saints Row 4 are among dozens of games who have been denied an Australian release, with many thought to have been banned due to the sexual violence, drug use, or sexual activity involving persons who is or appears to be a child under 18. So that it could potentially be the reason why they are banning this one. We don't know. What we do know about this game is that it is a mainline installment set in 1960s Japan. But I mean, that's pretty much it. You're exploring the town, you're solving puzzles, and it's a horror game. So we don't know exactly what is going on here. But if you look at the history in Australia and the other games that they have banned, you could probably have a pretty educated guess as to why they are banning it. So there's probably going to be scenes that depict things that they are saying that's a no-go for us here. We're gonna stop this before it does get released. I wonder if this will stick. And maybe that it has already been banned. There is no going back. I'm not really exactly sure how it works there, but this is going to be unfortunate for a lot of people in Australia who do want to play it. And I'm sure they find other ways to jump in and try these games out. But Silent Hill is a big franchise. So it's a big one here that they are banning over in Australia. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 is coming in July. Very excited for it. I already have the collector's edition pre-ordered and everything. I love the first remake that they did. These games that were my childhood, played the heck out of them when they did come out back in the day. One person that was apparently not going to be in the game, but looks like he is now, is Bam Margera. They're saying he wasn't going to be in there, but now Tony Hawk has intervened and are making sure that he does make his way into the game. This is all, it's being claimed, so we're not 100% sure that this is happening, but they're saying this during a live stream, the Live Club Skating podcast. It's been claimed that Bam was added to the game at the last minute after Hawk demanded he be included. They say here, well, here's what happened. The game was already done. Tony called up Activision and was like, hey, we're putting Bam in the thing. And they were like, hey, we can't. He goes, no, you're going to do it. And basically made them fly Bam back out there to get body scanned and everything else and get him back in the game. They say, so this might be news that's not out there yet, though. This person responds, probably. And now VGC has contacted Activision for comments. So there was a big controversy here, or maybe not big, but there was a controversy here that Bam Margera wasn't going to be in the game because it takes away from the original, right? It takes away from being able to play as him, which was a huge part as a kid, being able to play as him and stuff. And now it looks like that isn't going to be the case. Tony Hawk stepped up, make sure that he was in the game and that you're going to be able to select him as a character. I wonder how that affects development, how hard that actually was to get him back out there, body scan, and then put him back in. I mean, the animations are probably shared amongst a lot of the skaters in it, so there's probably just having to input another character more than anything, but interesting stuff here, and good for Tony Hawk to step up and make sure that this was a real recreation of the games that we did play back when we were playing them on the PS1, the N64, and the PS2 and stuff. So cool stuff there. I can't wait just to see if this game is basically the exact same in terms of how it looks and feels as number 1 and 2, and just if there's any improvements and all of that stuff, as these are going to be cross-platform but also released here on the current generation of consoles, whereas when the first one came out, that originally was just released on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. All right, we know that Indiana Jones is coming over to the PlayStation 5. It looks like we're getting this news today, exactly when it's going to be coming out, which means that you're going to be able to play this very, very soon. First of all, Bethesda puts this out. Keep eyes here tomorrow. And I believe that they are referring to this because Bill Buchanan basically gets all of his leaks rights. And he says Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PS5 will be announced on March 24th. And here is an exclusive look on its box arts and more details in this original story. So there is going to be the announcement for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PS5 today, it looks like. And I mean, we know this was coming. This was a big controversy when they announced that it was coming to PS5 because they did it at the Game Awards and people thought that kind of took away from the Xbox side of things and the Xbox announcements that this is a first party Xbox game. And I think a lot of Xbox fans would have rather them announce this at a different point in time, but irrelevant. People are going to be able to play it on PS5. It's a great game. I've played through it. I absolutely loved it. It actually exceeded my expectations. I was going into this game excited for it, excited to see what they were going to do, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good in terms of recreating that Indiana Jones feel. I wasn't expecting the gameplay to be as good and everything, and just the overall atmosphere and the story as well. It definitely exceeded my expectations. So everybody on PS5 is going to be able to now experience, in my opinion, one of the best games of 2024. I think if it would have released earlier than it did, it would have been nominated for Game of the Year in 2024. I believe it can still be nominated in 2025, but there is that whole recency bias thing that I think is going to play into effect, that even as of right now, people have kind of forgotten about the game itself, and I wonder if they will keep it in mind as we get through this year and get to the Game Awards at the end of it. But on the video there, guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.